coming to you from the Edge Podcast Studios at South Mountain, Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to the Edge Podcast with Mike G. Buckle up, Edge Nation. It's about to get real.
My name is Mike G. You are on the Edge Podcast. Exciting stuff coming. I have Flora Schule in studio today. Let me give you a good look at her. Say hi.
Hi.
And Flora is, we have a mutual friend, Nikki Valencia, and she and I got to talking about you on her podcast.
Cool.
And we had some great interactions around what you're up to and what you're doing. So let me just really quickly kind of go over who I have in my studio today. First of all, she is a highly effective seminar leader for Landmark Worldwide from 2003 to 2008. She ran seminars. She's a relationship coach. She is a body worker. And she's also, most recently, best-selling author. And what's the name of the book?
Succeeding Through Doubt, Fear, and Crisis.
Oh my God, that sounds juicy.
Second edition is just coming out.
Oh, that's incredible. And I'm looking at this thing here, and it's got your face on it, and Hiram W. Smith, who I have a lot of respect for. Who's this other person?
Sandra Yancey. She's a well-known women's networking
Oh wow, okay.
coach, guru.
Fantastic. So let me just kind of tell on you a little bit, okay? So Flora is a relationship coach. She brings clarity and peace to any situation. Recently, she's been specializing in healing challenged relationships and clearing any mental, emotional, or physical clutter from home or office spaces. That's huge.
Or bodies.
Yeah. And she left her thriving legal practice in 2004 in order to unify her training as a mediator, a seminar leader, and breath coach, and really to follow your heart. And she continues to pursue intensive advanced training in somatic release techniques. Interesting to hear about that. Tantric connection and effective transformational breathing and coaching. And by 2009, she was leading conscious connecting and conscious commitment. We're going to talk about that as well. And and then also relationship intensives as well as transcendent healing, which facilitator trainings. Tell me a little bit about that.
Training people to do the breath work and the coaching and breath work that I've been doing for 16 years now. So after 10 or 11 years in the practice, I started taking small groups of people through 6 to 7 month intensives for the first level certification, and then they get 70 hours practice. Because there's preparing to do it, and then there's actually doing it. So the 70-hour practice gives them their certification, and then if they want, they can go on a 100-hour level, which is what I did when I was trained back in the day, 2001, 2000, yeah.
Wow, awesome. So that's who you are. A little bit about who you are, because you're so much deeper than that. But let's just jump in there. So let's talk about what you're up to now and what that looks like, and then maybe we'll do a little work on me.
Yeah,
does that sound?
That sounds great.
Go for it. It's all you.
I just want to say I'm also a mom. I have a 19-year-old in college and an 8-year-old in 3rd grade. And so there is a lot more, right?
Yes.
A lot more. And I am happily married.
Yeah.
For 15 years now.
15 years.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
That's its own accomplishment, as you know.
Yes, definitely.
Anyone knows over the age.
As anyone knows.
Over the age of their first relationship.
And I'm always curious because I spent 16 years in a marriage. And during that marriage, things got rough, and I hadn't gone and done any work on myself, personal development, which I really recommend. If you're a human being on this planet, you should probably get involved in some kind of personal development. I highly recommend Landmark Worldwide. Go to landmarkworldwide.com, take a look at their introduction, which is online, and you can watch and find out about what that's about. And if you're stuck in life, no kidding, there are programs out there that you can get in touch with, and yours is one of them. And I'm excited to just be in studio with you because, best-selling author, all your accomplishments, everything. It's pretty remarkable.
Thanks.
So, yeah.
I like to say I didn't leave the lawyer brain behind either. Like I was a practicing litigator for 14 years before I made the transition. So
oh, nice.
You can't.
It's not me. Somebody's phone's going off.
That is the weirdest thing. I actually turned it all the way off
Did
so
you?
that wouldn't happen. How bizarre. Okay, let's say I tried to turn it all the way off and failed to. All right. Power off again.
No problem. We can edit that out.
Huh.
If we have to, who knows? That's just real life.
Make it a little exciting. All right, now it actually turned off versus me just hitting the first button to turn it off.
Good. All right, so let's just jump in there. So what's the book about? What's the work about?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll jump in and take a look at your website.
So one of the things that I really began developing after years of doing breath work with people, is this idea of really helping people get consciously connected. You were saying if you're stuck in life that you want, like really opening up, doing some kind of self-development program so that your relationships don't go on autopilot, right? Your financial level of abundance doesn't go on autopilot. Your relationship with your body, self-image is like nothing's on autopilot. And the breath work really helps. And then I expanded it broader. Conscious connecting, people would say conscious connecting to what?
Right.
So there's two different ways of connecting. So one is within. So I'm consciously connecting to self,
Right.
And
Yep.
preferably higher self, and not just like the machinery that runs when I'm reactivated or, running my programs to get things done. But so connecting within myself to my breath, to my heart, to my innermost essence, to God, as I know, whatever I may call any kind of relationship with kind of higher essence. And then there's a second one is like having connected within, I connect to the other.
Right.
To the relationships in my life, including to the body, to my money, to whatever and whoever happens to be around. And people are like, okay, so I got to get myself first connected within, and then I can connect without. I can see that, but it also, in my experience, it happens contemporaneously.
Yeah.
So my phone interrupted you, and I didn't get to see to hear the end of your question about, or your statement about being married for 16 years without having done some work. I know it can get really rough. I've been divorced.
Yeah.
But my experience is that here is too, in our relationship right here, Flora and Michael, we could actually provide the connecting within. Like we can use our relationship to see where we're blocked within and to heal, to evolve, to grow, sort of 2 by 2.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be done just me thinking on my own, separate from what triggers me, separate from what entices me, what I desire, what I long for out there, what I experience is missing, what threatens me and that I block. All of that, we could actually dedicate that to higher awakening, which is why I started focusing on relationship coach aspects. Doesn't mean sometimes like two people are trying to connect and I'm facilitating a joint session. One of them is blocked. We might need to do a little breath work or body work to free up what Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of perspective now in psychology. The cutting edge is to bring somatic release techniques instead of just talk therapy, talk, to bring breath work, EMDR, eye movement, tapping, to get some kind of energy work or body work to include it because there's this grip in the body.
Yeah.
Right?
I've experienced it.
Yeah, well, it's also mental, so who knows which arises first, right? Some of the latest brain science shows it arises together.
Oh, wow.
This gripping in the body and then the thoughts that justify the gripping in the body and then the emotion of fear. And it's like, all of a sudden, I'm like this.
Yeah.
Or I'm habitually like this with my game face on and my polite smile. And it's really a game body. It's not a game face. And so everything I do, everything that my company does, the people that work with me that I've trained is about opening, right? So relaxing the habitual positive gripping.
Yeah.
Relaxing the habitual positive defenses or negative defenses, right? Like just relaxing it, like really becoming vibrantly alive and free.
That's powerful. So what would life be like? So just for my listeners and me especially, because I think about these things, right? I think about like when I was first being exposed to, especially Landmark, and I've done other work with PAX and some other really great companies. But the one thing that I've become very conscious about, and that is in dealing with people, is that we're really run by that machinery. And a lot of the time, and we'll talk about machinery, but we're really run by the automatics, right? Like have you ever gotten in your car and you got in your car and you're going to work, and then you kind of wake up and you're at work. Like that space between leaving the house and going to work is gone. It's automatic. So we can go on autopilot and end up at work. We can go on autopilot during anything.
You can go on autopilot during sex.
Yeah.
Like that's why the tantric awakening practices that I've been playing with for years.
I love that. I love it. So you don't just touch on just the mental, emotional, right, and physical, but you touch on the relational piece between what's inside here, what's out there over there, and there is no disconnect. So the relationship exists between us. I love this piece of it, that energy can exist. The funny thing is that when we're living our lives outside of or inside of that automated man and woman, we're not experiencing life. I've been places. I went to DC one time and was on total autopilot the whole time. I don't even remember the trip.
I had a reunion in school and a lot of people remembered me and I could not remember them. Maybe a vague recollection of face, but I couldn't remember any interactions. I think I was just being positive, being happy. They remembered me as friendly and outgoing and caring, but like on the surface, right? Like either that or there was nothing traumatic, which is another thing, right? Defaulting to only remembering traumatic things. Or intensely positive things, like just like kind of floating on the surface. So like
wouldn't it be great to just have a deepening or even a like that deepening conscious connectedness with every event that takes place in life going forward?
Absolutely.
So and having it be not just life enriching, but really taking the world to a better place. Like you're actually, as a human being, moving the world forward, right? With all your experience and love and joy and everything that you can bring to the world. I think that, well, I guess that's what you do. We're going to find out. So your website, you've got a website up?
I do.
And this is it, guys. Take a look. Simplicity and Communication. Our mission is to support you in living from love. But this is a great website, and it is www.breathelifenow.com. So great website. And you also, in your book, how would we get your book, by the way?
There's a link on every page now. The web developer, who is my son, who's studying at USC, by the way, in college. He's now
USC, baby.
Yes, he's available
Trojans.
for hire.
Yeah, come on.
He's now all of a sudden he took over the web development. But if you click right there on published author, that'll take you to it. Or you can go up at the top, courses and groups, services.
There it is.
Almost any, and every page has a link for click for purchase information right there on the right. That's static on every page above the articles and the testimonials.
It's great. And this, you can get it through PayPal. And there's a coupon code. What's the coupon code?
So that's because we're on your show. Like if your listeners put in radio show, it'll be discounted down to $15.
Oh,
even, no shipping or handling, no tax, just straight $15. $15
shipped to you.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow, thank you.
So
Thank you for that.
discount,
All right, listeners, you heard it. Radio show. If you put radio show in the coupon code, you're going to get the book.
Got to cover the cost,
$15.
but yeah, like they can get it close.
Absolutely. And so help us navigate a little bit your website. How do we get around? What are we looking at? Your mission, what we do.
So if you go, those are very quick blurbs, like with bios and stuff, but we already covered that. If you go up to services, like the videos, I think it's the easiest. Let me see, wait, hang on. We just redid this. So private sessions, couple sessions, home and office clearing, coaching and mediation. I was trained as a mediator with the courthouse. So I used to mediate divorce and child custody and all that stuff. And that went into the training for how Flora now is able to hold space for people wanting to put together a relationship and use it to grow instead of use it to separate. But no, it'll be under courses and groups. I think it says, like if you go to the left at the top, those are the services. Wait, let me see. Courses, breath and meditation groups, conscious connecting course, falling in love with yourself. That's a yummy one. Oh, there you go. You were interested in the tantric stuff. It's sex, freedom, and love, going deeper. Get it?
I like it.
Sex, freedom, and love, going deeper. I was very, very proud of that. No, so it's actually about us. It shows videos that that have taped me talking. Sometimes me and my husband, we were doing the joint courses together. But if you scroll to the top, under About Us, there's see videos.
Okay.
And then I think that's the best resource on it. It actually has people agonize, stay or go in relationships, or stay or push them away in relationships. The value of being betrayed. I actually have a little ode. I think it's a 6-minute testimonial, like, yay, betrayal. Not like I'd wish it on somebody, but we all experience some kind of betrayal. I had a client, his business partner took money from him. Like there's obviously marital betrayals or whatever, but whatever the betrayal experience, to use that to have your heart let go of all like layers, like an onion of pain body, to grow, right? And then there's a conversation to redefine boundaries, do polite relationships, encourage intimacy, and then at the bottom there's a link to the website, to the YouTube channel, which will have a bunch of other videos. So,
and look, we can follow you on Facebook, we can follow you on Twitter. Here's your Facebook page. I love this, Creative Life Solutions, Conscious Connecting. And I'm going to like your page right here on the podcast.
Nice. And look, there's the conversation with me earlier.
Creative Life. Okay.
And there's me wondering whether to stay or go in a relationship where I had my hair done pretty nicely too.
I like it. It's fantastic. So and you've got all kinds of great stuff in here, and you just go to the page and like it, and let's see here. Make sure that you look up Creative Life Solutions. That's how I found you. I just put you into the search bar, and there you were. It was great. It was easy. So, and then we also have, let's see here. Those are your videos. This is your book.
Yeah, we could highlight one of the videos later in the podcast.
Yeah, sure. That'd be good. Yeah. Okay,
Let's see what topic comes up that will be relevant.
I know. Yeah, that's going to be great. I'm thinking about what it is that I want to go through and deal with. And so I'm going to be very vulnerable on this podcast today. You guys are going to see me at my I might cry. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe you'll laugh it through.
I might laugh right all the way through it. That'd be fun.
People are always like, you want me to cry, Flora? I'm like, baby, I just want you to let go of the energy that's been hardened in your heart.
Yeah.
Giggling does that.
Oh, man.
You know, toning, like sounding out, like speaking, like that releases energy. Like tears release energy. Laughter releases energy. Even burping.
My son's always releasing
sweating.
Energy.
Some people just sweat, right? Like the pits are like, it's like,
weird.
it's just releasing toxins, like the emotional gripping, the physicality of that.
Emotional gripping. What is that?
You know it when you experience it, but there's like the physical, there's an actual movement on emotion. There's a mind, body, spirit connection where emotions are experienced as this grip in the body. Like it's not just mind and gripping in the body intellectually. There's an emotional component to it. Right? Like the drive. Addictions like that. Addictions very much, you know, the adrenaline, the dopamine, the whatever the chemicals are going with certain happy or, you know, like sad or fearful emotions and stuff like that. And, you know.
Well, I feel it. I think oftentimes I feel it when I feel like I don't belong somewhere, and I have this emotion that I'm in danger. So that's interesting because when I was a young man, I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I had a friend who took me to it was supposed to be a great party, and it was down near I forget what the name of the place was, but it was near Old Town Albuquerque. And didn't know any people that were there. And then I'm having a good time, and this guy approaches me, and he looks scary. He's a gang member, and him and his buddies are like, "What are you doing here? Who are you? Where are you from?" You know, that kind of thing. And I got beat up. And it was from that point on that I felt like, you know, if I don't belong, I'm in a dangerous situation. And there's a grip that takes place.
Where?
It actually happens in my back, right between my, you know, what are they? The scapulas or what are they? So right there, and then also in the neck.
So that served you at some point, right? Like you got your back up, literally. And is it something like, I would say now it's just baggage that you're carrying around. It's emotional baggage, physical baggage. And when you release that, there will be a physical flush. Like, is that something that you want to let go of?
That one right there, that would probably, I think, is the most organic one for sure, because it still happens to me today. It's so weird. It's one of those things that keeps me from growing and experiencing life in a lot of different ways. And I'm pretty much out there. I get out there a lot. Check my Facebook page. I'm out doing stuff. But when you put me in a group that I'm not familiar with everybody that's in the group, you know, chances are before I show up, I had a conversation that went like, I wonder who's going to be there. I don't know if I'm going to fit in. Maybe I'll not go.
More like a dialogue. I mean, a monologue, not a conversation. It's in your head.
It's a monologue for sure. Yeah.
So you don't want to strip somebody of their defenses without making sure what they got in place. I mean, the idea is that if you let go of the habitual, if we pop that off of you, that you know that you can. You're a big guy. That you know that you can front. You know that you can protect. And in fact, you could even say that you can protect better when you're not gripped.
Yeah.
Because when you're gripped in fear, you don't have the same range of responses.
Yeah.
One of my my former brother-in-law, he got robbed. He ran a liquor store. He got robbed at gunpoint, and he gave the guy all his money. The guy's pointing a gun at him, and then the guy says, "Now lie down on the floor, face down." And there had been a rash of face down shootings, like in the back of the head.
Wow.
So my brother-in-law said,
Go ahead.
my brother-in-law said, like, he just was like, "I'm not going to do that." And the guy's like, "What?" Right? And I think he was on something, so it's not rational conversation.
Right.
But he said, "You got your money.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to call the cops till I make my insurance report." He's like, "But I'm not going to lie down."
No, yeah.
And the guy's like, "I got the the power, right?" And then he goes, "Ah," and he grabs a sack of money and he runs. But that kind of presence, like I'm getting the chills telling you that, that kind of presence, if you're gripped,
you can't do that.
You go into this victim, "Oh, I guess he's going to make me lie down on the floor. Hope he doesn't shoot me in the back of the head." And then if he doesn't, we tell our friends the story. He made me lie down on the floor. Like showing up, like your heart open, your mind engaged. We're not going to be, this isn't about being mindless. Your left brain's going to show up, but you need the right brain for the creative responses.
Right.
And the gripping separates it, and it just, like your function is down.
Yeah, totally. You shut down. Totally.
So my point is that we could actually do something if you wanted on that back of the heart thing. I know you talked to me before we started about some possible relationship issues, because we're looking at let's do a mini session here.
I'm open for both. Yeah,
but my point is, you want to realize that it's not about being defenseless. It's about being more able to react and engage on all levels. Like sometimes saying no in a way that's not like, "No, I'm not going to do that, because if I do that, you might shoot in the back of the head." Bam, you drew it to you, right?
Right. You've got your money. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to comply
Even
here.
when he said it, and what it got me the chills, I think he said it with love. It sounds crazy, but he was like, "Look, man, you got your money.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to call the police except for the insurance report. Just go."
Yeah. This does not have to happen.
No ill will here, kind of thing, right?
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
That wasn't me. That was my former brother-in-law.
Yeah,
I'm like, he's my hero. Like,
so deep.
You got to show up, right?
Yeah.
Like showing up for your experiences.
For sure.
I'll tell you what, he was alive in those moments.
Yeah.
But for you, you're experiencing that same level of in a party.
Yeah, there've been a couple parties that I just didn't go to because I was just like, you know what, I don't feel like I belong, and I don't know everybody that's going to be there. That's just, and I'm 46. I mean, I've been around the block, and I'm not afraid. Like I actually have had to tailor this a lot, because after that happened, I mean, I became one of those people that was always worried about where I was, what I was doing. If I was in a good space, who could possibly hurt me? All that stuff just showed up. And then went to the Landmark Forum, and I got to disappear a lot of that with with one of the things that we did, one of the exercises that we did around fear. And that changed a lot. But I still have it. Like, it's still there, and it's still something that controls me. And at the same time, the amount of how often it happens has diminished, but it's still there.
Some of my best clients are Landmark graduates, because they get the benefit of it, about being free, popping free, and the mental grip is gone, but there's sometimes some just residue in the body.
Yep.
And then when you let that go, then the mind goes more, and it's like not instead of. It's a great.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
So do you want to do something with that now,
For
or
sure,
you want to push pause on that? And
we're browsing your web page a little bit. We're talking about some of the videos that you had up, and some of the work that you're doing. Now, you also speak, right?
I do. I'm a speaker and coach.
Awesome. And
now an author.
Yeah, well, it's second edition too. So you've been an author for a while.
No, I'm an author in the second edition.
Oh, you are? Okay,
That's right.
great.
I added into it.
Oh, nice. And they came to you. That's great.
They did. They heard some inspiring stories, so that felt really good.
That's what I want to hear. Some inspiring stories.
All right, so we were talking about conscious connecting, connecting within yourself and then connecting with others. And so most of my shares, if you will, are things that I've done personally, like within myself, personal practices. I mean, you mentioned Nikki. Nikki now has me she's shaving her head for the St. Baldrick's Foundation on September 26th. And now I'm doing that in support of her, living out loud, living like there's no tomorrow. And really, like, the idea is that you never know. Like, what would we do if we didn't know? And I would never have thought, there might not be a tomorrow. Let me go shave off all my hair. But it is consistent with many of the practices.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to join with your creative essence, like that inner soul, that, you know, the truth of your being, anything that we do to try to change or fix the outer, like people, circumstances, or our appearance, is going to detract from that. Not ultimately, but at first. Like, I actually went 6 months where I didn't let myself wear makeup.
Okay.
I found, not that there's anything wrong with makeup, I have a little bit on today, podcast time, but I found that I was using the eyeliner to make my eyes look bigger than they were, and makeup, base and foundation to make to put shadow on my nose to make it look smaller than it was.
Okay.
I would outline my lips to make them look bigger than they were. So it was like this idea, and many people use makeup, mostly women, but women aren't the only ones who wear makeup,
true.
right?
That's true.
So people use it either for fun, to enhance, to enjoy, or there's this thing called fixing my flaws. And I found that I was using it to fix my flaws. So I just as a practice to make peace with the physicality, the way that it was. I went 6 months, even when I was leading seminars to groups of 80 or 100 people at a time, in business situations as a lawyer and a mediator down at the courthouse. I just showed up as me, and I got this confidence. And now here I am, like, my little 5 or 6 year old girl is like, oh my God, how am I going to be pretty and feminine and sparkly with all my hair gone? What am I going to do without fluffy hair days? I feel better about myself, and, you know, like it's an expression, right? And then how am I going to express my femininity? I was like, am I going to wear mascara again? I haven't worn mascara for years. Like really dealing. It sounds so superficial.
Yeah.
But there is something about making peace with things the way they are, so that then we can use our aliveness and our creative force to create our relationships, to create our relationship with ourselves, to create a relationship with other people. And so the hair shaving off thing, if anybody wants to support, I'm soliciting donations on behalf of the St. Baldrick's Foundation. They can't take my hair because it's now color processed, especially when I knew I was cutting it off. I got red stripes in it like the young kids do. See, it's all hot. And but for fun, right? Like not trying to correct flaws. And, and it's really, it's the intention of what we do, right? Many people judge by what you do, but there's something like, what was the intention there?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a big part of what you dealt with in, in the legal profession.
Absolutely.
Right, what was your intention? You know, and sure, that's what you did, but what did you intend to do?
And they're both important.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like contract law, intention outside the four corners of the document isn't as relevant, so, but.
So that's great. So I really am interested in this piece that you're talking about, where the relationship within and getting that cleaned up and cleared up, and almost like resolving. Is that a great way to put it? Resolving those things that have gripped us in the past, and allowing those things to be, or allowing ourselves to be free of them. And what would it be like to be aware that you're free of it? And to be aware of that relationship with yourself, such that you love yourself so much that loving the others in this world becomes much easier. I think that's a great goal to have. And you wouldn't necessarily do it for that reason, but I think that could be a result, right?
You have light in your eyes as you speak those words.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm up to. And that's what I stopped resisting. You know, at the time that I became a seminar leader for Landmark, it was volunteer at that time. And it was like, oh my God, like that was a lot of hours and and it was just really coming to this place of peace within myself and making peace with the gripping too. Because I don't think it's that we get past the gripping and then we awaken.
Yeah.
In my experience, you have to include it. Like the aliveness comes with life the way that it is.
Yeah.
Not just after we get it changed. And so it's like, oh, I see. The gripping, well, what do you want? Oh, I want to belong. I want to be important. I want people to listen to me. Okay, well, guess what, sweetheart? Shh, let's come and let's serve this mission called All People Alive and Free. And you'll get what you want too. You'll get some expanded sense of self-importance, and you'll get like some people listening to you occasionally, and you'll get, you know, like whatever it is that your little self is wanting. Like I just found like almost like taking it like a little child under the wing and just saying, what is it that you're looking for here? And then it doesn't get to run my show. Right? Like go in the direction, like have it see the benefit. Otherwise it's just resisting.
Yeah.
That's painful. Being up in front of people, like throwing a little internal tantrum about what you're doing while you're trying to serve a higher calling.
Oh my God. I don't know how many times. Oh, Jesus.
What?
So there have been so many times where I've agreed to do something, like I've agreed to participate in something, and there's a little piece of me, right, that's like holding back, like, it's hard. It's not even, well, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to pretend it's hard to explain. I'm just going to explain it. So there have been times where I've agreed to go do something. For instance, maybe I'm going to participate as assisting with something, right? And then in my participation, I know that there's so much value there, right? So for instance, I go to United Way and I help out with feeding the homeless, okay? And that agreement, as I give it, there's a little twinge in me going, oh man, I really don't want to have to get up that early in the morning and go to get in my car. And like, I'm not looking at the stuff that's going to benefit the homeless. I'm looking at what I got to do to logistically get there. And that's that little twinge of, I don't know if I want to do that, but yet I gave my word to it, right? And then I show up and I'm not fully connected with what's happening, not only internally, but these other people. I'm not connecting with them. And this is a real experience I had. And at the end of the day, I couldn't be acknowledged for my part because I felt that resistance the whole time. Like I felt like well, yeah, okay, but I wasn't really here fully. I wasn't really like, it's like the intention thing. So here was my time and I was giving it and I'm giving it. Why am I giving it? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm a good person, or whatever that is that I'm trying to fulfill. But that weird little twitch that's like, I'm not fully here. I'm not fully engaged. Very different than what happened last night. I was assisting around another program and I was having that happen. This is perfect. I was having that happen. I went, no, what if I just went there and I just was like completely wide open, loving and giving, and my piece of that thing was fulfilled perfectly, and I could be support for other people's pieces. Like we had, the food piece, and we had cleanup, and I was helping out with cleanup, and it was a completely different experience, and I felt connected with the people that were there. So without even having had this conversation, I kind of experienced that a little bit, but it came from creating a possibility.
Totally, I can get that. And what I heard, or what we uncovered just now, because you're saying new things, right? Like I'm in the presence of you being really here.
This is,
checked in. You're like saying new things instead of insert program number 18 that you're just going to
right, yeah.
speak at me.
Yep.
There's something like we just heard what you use it to justify, like that little piece of resistance. Of course, you can create a possibility. You can give something up. There's a lot of practices, right? You can forgive someone, take responsibility for something. There's all these practices that we've learned in some of our common education and elsewhere that you can do that, and you can be in the state of being fully present there and in service and loving the people around you even when they annoy you. And maybe you don't even experience being annoyed. And then you have this, like when they acknowledge you, you receive it deeply because you're like, yeah, I showed up with 110% of my game on. And so you feel like you deserve it and all that. So there's that. And I'm going to say, what if you could do that even when you have your piece of resistance? Because it sounds like what you said was because of the piece of resistance, then you like the justifying, like now we know what you use not showing up fully so that I don't have to connect with people. I don't have to receive deeply the love, right? Like, so we got the little payoff, if you will, right?
Right,
like, what some people call a payback. Like, okay, now we know why you keep that around. And I've just been playing with, what if I can show up and shift into aliveness without having to have a happy possibility even in front of me? Like, what if awakening, an awakened state, doesn't, like, what if it just transcends it and it includes it all? And you don't have to get rid of all the fear. It's weird because you could say what I do for a living is like, it's like these layers of an onion of the pain body. And I help ungrip mind, emotions, and physicality, right? So like, and now office and home clearing, because you can see people's shit around them and like what their mind feels like sometimes, right? There's some sort of connection.
Oh yeah.
That's not my specialty, but I'm able to do it as part of the other. But so I'm saying I get rid of layers of the onion. right?
Yeah.
So it makes it easier and easier to be in this state of being present and awake and alive and in love, like with the joy juice, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I'm saying, what if you don't need to do that?
Yeah.
What if it just makes it easier?
Oh.
Like, what if we can include what people consider negative emotional states, where your body can be gripped? You can be having a horrible calf muscle. What do you call that? It
just seizes up.
Yeah,
it's a knot in your.
Yeah, like it's called something, muscle spasm, I guess. And it's like, and what if you can have that with the mind doing that, and it goes into fear, and then the emotional, and then the gripping and the fear and all that, and some sadness, and then like just shift into aliveness and awakened state. Anyway, I'm just, what if?
What would that look like in relationship? Not just to yourself, but I mean relationship with others.
Yeah, so it looks like somebody doing something or saying something that you experience. One of the most devastating experiences in relationship is betrayal.
Yeah,
and I have a video ode to that. If you get a chance, you can play it for your
we could
viewers.
We could play it. We could play it anytime you want.
You want to play it now?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I think let me find it. Here we go. And it's on betrayal.
And then we could come back and I could tell you what it looks like in a relationship.
Here it is. Okay. And I'll make it big.
So here's the thing about betrayal. Any other grief is usually, there's a cleanliness to it, a simplicity, right? You've lost something that you care about. And that's part of betrayal as well. You've lost the illusion that you thought you were living. You've lost the dream, what turns out to be a fantasy of whatever it is, trustworthiness, etc. But there's a purity to losing something you care about. Even with the bargaining and the denial and all the stages of anger and grief, betrayal messes with you, with your mind, with your sense of trusting yourself. There's a agitation to it mentally, like it, in a way that nothing else can provide this opportunity. I'm not saying wish it on you or on me or on anyone, but we've all experienced betrayal in our childhood, from our parents, from our God, in relationship, even with our own sense of self. And when it happens, and if you're watching this, I'm assuming it's either happened to you or you're concerned that it might, there's this opportunity with it that no other experience, in my experience, that nothing else will provide. It's like you question yourself, you question your judgment, you question trusting people in general. Like when the big shock of just how much betrayal I had been living with happened to me, like I literally shook for 5 hours. And for a few days, in fact, but just the first wave, right, was shaking. And I was walking around and I was saying to myself, oh my God, my heart's breaking, my heart's breaking. And then I heard the little voice within, right, the inner voice say, no, sweetheart, your heart is breaking open, if you'll allow it. And that was my experience. Like I made that shift. It's like, oh, let it shake open. Right? Like it's like, oh, everything I thought was true about my life, about my relationship. It's like, oh, it's not, and now what? And it's like, oh, am I going to wall off more? And this is a decision facing everyone that has the experience of betrayal, disappointment, even just the purity of grief of loss, right? In these transition times, it's like, am I going to guard more and shrink away and try to get smaller and smaller and more, right? More and more boundaries until I'm alone in one room, right? Like afraid to trust anyone or anything, and it's just so lonely and hurting. Or am I going to let myself break open and flower and get bigger and bloom and realize, wow, it was never my husband that my sense of trust should have been in. The betrayal was here. Like I saw behaviors I didn't know, right? But I saw behaviors of saying one thing and doing another. I saw You know, what I saw unhealed little boy make an agreement and then lie about it in weird ways. And I was like, this is crazy. This isn't who I married, right? But it was who I married. So it's like that sense of trusting me that I know when something's off and not popping up into my mind to try to fix it or analyze it or justify it or rationalize it. The trust was here, and with that essence, right? Trusting that voice within that will always tell me the truth and that authentic yes, no that's here. So I encourage you a lot of times, like the coaching that I've been doing, especially in the last year, shockingly, couples, women, men who've disconnected their heart from their loins and want to learn to trust and to love and to bring their passion again, right? Enough with Viagra medicine and antidepressants and heart medicine. It's like, wow, are we ready to awaken and unleash? And what I found is that the first decision really is to know. Like to just know the truth of what's actually happening within you and in your environment. And the truth really shall set you free. It's my honor and joy to help people move through that transition. Okay, whatever the truth is, you're better off knowing, because then we can match to what your heart really longs for. And a lot of times we don't even know what our heart longs for, so we have to get through the mental layers of all the stuff that's been programmed that we should want, versus really what's our heart wanting here in this lifetime, in this body home, in this relationship, right? In our relationship with our money, with our children, with our spouses or our partners or just our dates. Like, what do we really want here? And that wasn't available to me before the layers of kind of controlling myself to be positive, to be consciously connected. Like, there was a lot of self-control here, but not listening to what's true and not being fed. And it's just so beautiful having had that awakening to really be able to guide and support people through it. It's my deepest honor. And if you think you might be ready to live your truth, your authentic self, your love, your passion, your happiness, call me, please. I'd love to talk to you.
Wow, that's fantastic. I love that. Good.
Ooh, I got my preacher on there for a little bit.
Yeah.
I judge myself when I watch these videos back.
It's really great, though. Betrayal, oh my God. And you touched a bunch of things that I think resonated with me so much. Just the experience of it. I think the really interesting thing that you said was, it's not like you didn't see these things happening out here. Like you did. And your trust was here in a lot, but like misaligned or something. I've had that experience, with my ex-wife, where she was saying one thing and doing another, and it didn't make sense. And I was like, what's going on? But I never really inquired, because honestly, I didn't want to know. I didn't want to be betrayed. I didn't want to find out. And not that she never cheated on me or anything like that, or had any extramarital anything like that. But she had a gambling thing. So
addiction, man.
That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what it can look like in relationship, to answer your question, is to feel afraid, keep your heart open anyway. To say, I'm noticing. I had an interaction with somebody the other day, mad love for him. And he said, I don't know, my girlfriend, she got really crazy. I'm sure you've never experienced this, Michael.
Never say that, guys. Just never use the crazy word.
No, but that's what it's like. Like, even within the experience in a female body sometimes, and like the revving up and the whatever. Not all women do this, and men can do this too, but like the feminine, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know what I said. And I was like, well, what'd you say? And he goes, well, I just said, and he repeated to me what he said. And I go, I noticed that my back just got tense. There's a little knot in my stomach.
Yeah.
And I'm really angry at you. And I have this urge to hit you. And he goes, that's what she said.
Interesting.
And I told her that obviously she wasn't committed to resolving the problems between us, and then the crazy took over.
Yeah.
So he goes, wow, 2 different people had the same reaction.
Mhm.
Maybe I can look at what I said, like the response that I had. And
Yeah.
I'm not in a relationship with him. I love him. He's a friend.
Sure.
He's not even a close friend, but I
Yeah.
just gave him the authentic response. Now, it's harder to do that with my husband. It's harder to, sometimes it's more difficult to do that with the people that we kind of see all the time.
You're closer to them.
And you're interacting about 20 different things, like what are we going to eat? Did Jonah get his homework done? Hey,
Right.
did you get the car taken in for the shop? And I paid the credit card, like all of this stuff, in addition to the sexy tantric,
Yeah.
interconnected stuff. So there's just so much business being handled. And so it's not just so much coming at you, but I think it really takes something to go, like, to calm it down. Like, if we're going to have an emotional issue, or if you say something casually and I notice I have a hurt, like, I can actually push pause on it and say, let's look at that more closely.
Right.
But it's a desire to see, which is what you were saying, that you notice, like, your block has been in the past. I am now so hungry to see what's running, like, to see what's running me, to see what's running you. Like, all of you is welcome here. I haven't met anything now. Like, I have this sense of, like, thank God for the experiences in this lifetime, because I haven't met anything that's truly scary. And I don't want to draw those experiences to me. Like, but I spent 6 months meditating on serial killing. Because I was like, if it exists in a loving universe, that supposedly there's some higher intelligence, loving essence, I can get crimes of passion.
Sure.
Compassion, people get revved up, drugs, alcohol is involved.
Yes.
Weapons are available. I don't know, right? You don't even need weapons. I can get that. Like, I don't agree with it. I don't advocate for it. I'd like to see a world where our anger doesn't get unleashed, no matter what's happened to us as children, no matter what's been passed down our DNA, who knows the cause. But that something could exist that would torture human beings, and that we would, like, that something helpless next to you, like, and that you would continue wanting to hurt it even when it's hurting. Like, how numb would one have to be to continue that? And that we'd be so fascinated by that as a culture, that all the many best-selling books and movies and TV shows are concerned with that. It's such a tiny percentage of human reality, but that's the first thing on the news, or the best-selling books. And
it's like the deepest, darkest stuff that you can find in human nature is what we want to find out about. And what's that about? And let's find out about John Gacy and all these other really crazy, they're crazy, I mean, legitimately crazy people, sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissistic behavior, all that's going on there. And it's very, very scary. But at the same time, like you said, what is the disconnect? Something's missing, like, really.
I got to this place within myself that I resolved it. You use the word resolve, that I made peace with, or resolved that can occur in a universe pulling for something in a positive way, that it can occur in a loving universe. And it was mainly like a deep sense of numbness and a desire to feel something, and that I can have you feel. Right? How much do I need to turn up the volume on you, because mine's turned down so far? And this is still the same essence then. It's 2 by 2, trying to awaken, either like covertly with the dark side and the lying and the covert addictions in life, right? Gambling.
Right, whatever.
Sex, right? Shopaholic.
Amazonaholics.
Yeah, like, really, like, I have a good friend, like really dealing with her husband's shopping addiction. It's like, just, we're either using something to numb to the experience, or we're getting interested. And I just want to help people and serve getting interested in their experience, like, awake to it.
Oh, that's awesome. And so now I'm going to just jump right to what's your method? What do so I'm one of those people. I qualify. Let me just say that right now.
All human beings do.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. You have a wide audience. Because people are hurting. Either emotionally or physically, mentally. I think a lot of the times those physical ailments, right, those can be explained by a couple different things, but there are certain ailments that is just about pain in the body because of, like, the grip. And one of mine is my neck. My neck is in pain off, and I haven't injured it. Just no injuries. But there are times where I'm just stiff, and it's stress, and it's whatever's coming at me that I haven't dealt with, or I haven't resolved it either in my past or in my now.
Well, you don't even have to be woo-woo in some way to believe that. Medical science is proving. I mean, you go to an MD and you tell them, I have, ulcers. A lot of times they prescribe antidepressants of some kind or like some sort of de-stressing medication because the mind-body connection, you're stressed, it comes as ulcers or higher cortisol levels or whatever, right? Like there's a definite correlation. So
high stress will make you fat. It's true.
Yeah, totally. So I like the example of your neck, by the way. One thing it reminds me of is like the Louise Hay work.
Okay.
So when you ask me my methodology, like I've used Louise Hay as one reference also, which Louise Hay came up with a system of questions or areas that you can ask. So when your neck's stiff, one of the things she would say is, ask yourself if there's some place you're being inflexible.
Okay.
And I know that you were telling me like in relationship where you say, that's it, I won't go any further.
Yeah.
Like the places that you're being inflexible, just notice if when it's tweaking you, if there isn't some kind of inflexibility. So I have a couple of issues with like every tool you use has positives and negatives. It's like every character trait. There's positives and there's negatives, right? Like you can be selfless and it's great, but if you go selfless completely, then you're like a martyr and a victim and, so every character trait, everything is, and every tool I use is the same way. So I use conscious connected breath work. Sometimes people joke that you get paid to watch people breathe, but it's not like that, right? Like if we shift your pattern of breathing in life, some people are shallow inhale breathers, but long exhale breathers, and you'll see that they have problems in receiving in their life. And when we change just 1 or 2 sessions, we shift their habit and their pattern of breathing, their life changes. Like really, like all of a sudden they have more abundance flowing in or whatever. Or they might be hoarders. Like they're great with deep inhale breathing, but they can't exhale or then there's like the heart breathing up here versus the belly breathing. And the belly breathing is where we keep emotions. And then there's nasal breathing versus mouth breathing. And then connecting them with different forces. So it's really, there's like the science of breath. And altering the breath is a great way to have people have more aliveness. And then another tool is this Louise Hay. So she created this, the metaphysical handbook. So you can say, is there any place I'm being inflexible? And how I use it as a starting point. I say, well, Louise Hay says, you have a urinary tract infection. Is there someone that you're pissed off at? Usually usually your closest sexual partner, right? Like your mate. Doesn't have to be. Now then some people use it like, oh my God, I must be pissed off at my husband because I have a urinary tract infection, as if it's I don't know, a Bible for some people, or like it's like an exact science versus she's just saying feel into it, and then you need your intuitive wisdom. Or if you have a private session with a facilitator, like kind of like we can either one of us get kind of an intuitive wisdom hit. It could hit me, it could hit you. So we use some of that. I use Gestalt reframing. That's been a large part of my training, inner child work and Gestalt reframing. When the issue comes up, you can actually have a conversation with it. Some of the tapping, I use kinesiology, body talk. I've been, trained in advanced body talk methods. And so basically I was about anything that could free me up from the grip, because this was just all selfish, right? Like I want to be free. When I got my first taste, like you, baby, right? Like it's like, oh my God, I've been unconscious. I want to wake up. And then like you're like, oh, and then there's more stuff, and there's stuff I can do in my body that frees me up, and then there's stuff in my mind, and there's emotional detox that I can do. And so I throw it all in there. Like I have like one of my clients likes to joke, I have this big tool belt, and it's like whatever comes up in the session, I can just, pull out the screwdriver of transformation, or the, the wrench of awakening, or the prayer of something. And I use a lot of guided meditation because, one viewpoint now is that the body is just the subconscious mind. So you want to impact the subconscious mind to make changes in the physical form and body, and also in life. So guided visualization, guided meditation is a way to access that, right? Get out of thinking and doing into being, feeling, and reprogramming. I used to use that a lot as a lawyer. Before I'd have a jury trial, like in the whole night before, I'm just visualizing the jury being receptive to me, really engaged, open, seeing myself saying the key points that I wanted to make, and then seeing it land for them in their mind and their hearts, really. And I only lost one trial, and that was when my client changed his testimony.
Oh, wow.
He changed his testimony on the stand, and then I started cross-examining my own clients. And But other than that, so I mean, I have a sense that it really works.
does
and every
work.
athletes tell you that, right? Visualizing the course before you play the golf game or whatever.
Neil Donald Walsh that worked a lot with athletes. I think it was Neil Donald Walsh. If not, it was another one. But this guy was like so into visualization and talking about, take the shot, take the shot, take the shot, and then take the shot. Like it was mentally take the shot, and he worked with Olympic athletes or something like that. I hope it's Neil Donald Walsh. If it's not, I'll find out.
I don't know, but I know that there's no difference there's very little difference in the body between the visualizing of it and the actual living of it.
Yeah, it's incredible. Our minds are so freaking awesome.
So why not put the subconscious and the conscious mind to work for you in freeing and awakening?
Yeah, and it takes a few moments before you actually take the hit, before you take the shot, before whatever you're about to do. It doesn't take a lot. At night before I go to bed, I'm one of those people that wakes up and I do the Miracle Morning from Hal Elrod. He's one of my favorite authors. The guy's just incredible. Survived a life-debilitating car crash and worked his way back into life and became a best-selling author and all this other stuff. But he talks about visualization being one of those things that'll actually take you into your day. And so I do it at night before I get up the next morning, and then the next morning I reconnect with it. Visualization is huge. If it didn't work so well, I'd say it's woo-woo, but it does. It works so well. No kidding.
Yeah, trial lawyers have been using that for years, and so have golfers, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, totally. So, those are the methods that the primary
fantastic.
methods.
So, do I get to experience?
Yes,
some of this?
please. So let's do it.
Okay.
So, do you want to state kind of like I asked you? I was like, so do you want to play with any blocks in relationship? Kind of do a little mini session.
Yeah, relationships for me, right? There are a couple of relationships, and this I was telling you earlier is something I do, and I noticed it recently that if I feel disrespected by somebody, I shut down. My emotions shut down completely. I have found that for the most part, if I don't get into communication with them. Here's what happened. Here's, you hurt me. Here's what you said. I went an entire week before sharing with a friend of mine, what I thought she said that hurt me. And then, we had a conversation and we cleaned it up. It was remarkable, but that's not the norm. The norm is I get offended, and then I shut down and I stop communicating and I get short with them. And then I kind of cut them out of my life. Not kind of. I cut you out of my life. So that's my apology. It's sad. I was at an event with this two people actually, who were they were friends, and they've been through the work, they've done Landmark and everything, and we just had like a falling out, and I don't remember what it was that they said, but I felt disrespected. That's what I felt. And then from then on, it was like I just stopped talking to him. And now we barely even look at each other. We were good friends.
It's the weirdest thing. Some of the worst fights and war situations are graduates. And it makes no sense because you go, but we know better. Like that there's we get, like if you give up something for the juice of aliveness and connection. But it's almost like any tool you give the lower self, any tool you give that ego mind, it can use it for battle.
Yeah.
To justify it, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You haven't said that, but I hear you asking to be free of that grip.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I would love to be free of that. Can you help me be free of that?
Absolutely, if you're willing, right?
I'm willing.
Yeah.
So on camera right now. This is what the Edge podcast is really all about, is just taking it. Right?
All right, good. So just taking a breath and just kind of center ourselves. If I feel called, like I usually do hands-on when I'm on private sessions 1-to-1, but I also do Skype sessions with people. So if I feel called, is it okay with you if I go over and put my hands on your heart or on your neck or something?
Absolutely. And let me give you this microphone right here if you feel like that's what you want to do.
All right, good.
We have this microphone over here.
All right. I don't know where it's going to take us because I really don't predetermine. I don't have some cookie cutter way. Like I'm just like, Michael, I just want you to be free here.
Awesome.
Whatever that takes.
Okay.
And then if it's really messy, you just don't ever have to air this podcast. So like there's no attachment here. Like the desire is the freedom that you're
Sure. If I cry or anything like that, or
snot dribbling down your face, here's the tissue box, right?
Thank you. I got a chicken right here. Tissue box. show everybody my tissue box.
It's very pretty. I like it. It's green and yellow.
And it was already in here because I've had a number of occasions where, 2 occasions so far, where one of my guests just broke down. We were really talking about some interesting stuff, and anyway, so that's why this is here.
Good. So maybe I can make you cry first, and then you
Let's
can make me cry.
see what happens.
All right, I'm up for that. So are you willing to consider, let me think, that what you call being, God, I didn't write it down. What was the word you said?
I feel like I'm disrespected.
Disrespected, right? That's kind of conceptual. But are you willing to, can you find the experience of betrayal in that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because disrespected is a little polite, right? It's like, oh, you disrespected
Yeah.
me.
Oh, well, so I'll give you one of the examples. She's a friend. We've been friends. She's a little older than I am, and she's a sweetheart. She's been around the world. She's so much fun to hang out with. And then, and there's never been there has been like an attraction, but not to the point where sex would be something we did. And we've gone out, and we like to go out and drink and have a good time and play and do stuff like that. And I took her out to the movies this last time that we were talking to each other, and I took her to the movies, and we had a great time. And then afterwards, I dropped her off, and I said to her, and I don't even know why I said this to her, but here's what I said. I said, you know what? Thank you so much for coming with me today. It was really fun. And I was going to go out and see a movie today, but just having you there, I didn't want to go alone, and having you there was really great. So thank you so much for being there with me. And then after that, she was not wanting to talk to me. So I would text her, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, how are you? And she texted me back. This is about a week later, because she had ignored every text. Mm-hmm. And a week later, she says, if you have something to say, just say it. Because I don't respond to hey. And I was like, really? So I can't, just text you hey. And that's what I thought. And then what I texted was back to her. I said, wow, if that's how you treat your friends, take me off the list.
Yeah.
I felt disrespected. Mm-hmm. Especially, and here's the especially why, especially after all the times that we went out and had a good time, and it was on my dime. Not like you owe me anything, but I mean, this is something that bothered me. I was like, wow, really? Okay.
So where are you experiencing your energy right now in your body as you talk to me about this?
Ooh.
Is it up in your head? Are you down in your gut, in your heart, in your feet?
It's...
You just shifted. You feel that?
Yeah. I feel it in my back and my shoulders.
You were mostly up here, kind of reporting on it.
So it's like see how my shoulders are up right now? This is how I feel. It's not because I'm like this, but it's this doesn't feel natural. In fact, my back just cracked a little bit when I went like that. But yeah, this is the normal feeling, or I think my body posture in this experience right now.
So would you be willing to close your eyes and just take a deep breath?
Sure.
Kind of sigh it out your mouth. Keep going. Let it all out. See what your exhale is, all the way out. Just exhale all the way out, like what singers call the reserve. Keep going, 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 all the way down. Get all that stagnant air out of the bottom. That's where a lot of emotions are held. So what's the emotion that you feel right now? Keep your eyes closed so you can stay in your own experience.
I feel the tenseness in my neck.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel in your belly?
Tightness.
Mm-hmm.
Physically tightness.
Go into that sensation. We want to avoid the temptation to talk about it. And I just want to free you to just feel it. Like I'm here, you're not alone feeling it. I'm here. You're safe. Maybe relax your tongue, the TMJ joint. Let your jaw hang open a little. letting go of the polite habitual game face and the furrow between the brows. Like, just let the game face go. And tell me what you're noticing in your core.
So I have a softness now, like a gentle experience in my core. I'm not tight.
If I say the phrase to you, like, I just want to belong with you. I want to be in with you. I thought I was in with you. Now I'm out with you because I said or did something you didn't like. Like, what is that? Like, one day they like us and they love us, the next day we're out? What the hell is that? What does that do to your own internal state?
Makes me sad.
Yeah, where do you feel that?
In my heart.
Yeah, just breathe into that. This is exactly how you can start to get what's happening internally is the same thing as what's happening on the external. Just breathe into that sadness.
I've got a fire in my back right now.
That's okay.
You're
You're
like
safe.
just transferred, just
Good.
went right into that spot that hurts in the back.
Don't move, just feel it. This is one of those times like the calf muscle we talked about where you're going to be awake in spite of it. And it's going to shift. It's very temporary.
It's so tempting to just like focus on that.
I know, but
know?
I want you to focus on the sadness in your heart.
Okay.
You're not alone. I'm doing a little energy work on you. It really doesn't matter whether you're the perpetrator or the betrayed. That same energy got trapped inside you, baby. Just let yourself go. I'll come down. I'll do another podcast. I don't care, okay? Just let it go. That's that same energy that says, if I don't like what you do, I'm going to push you out and be justified about it. And life's been bringing you that for you to receive that energy too. Just feel what they feel when you do that to them. And who knows, right? Because they could just be numbed out, whatever. They got 17 other friends, so you can't actually consciously hurt another, but you can intend it and feel this within yourself. Tell me what you're experiencing.
I feel with the sadness, I feel this lightness. Like I'm not alone. Like I'm like many people feel the same sadness. I feel like this. Oh man, I keep trying to describe it, but it's just.
Feel them both. Just feel the light and feel the sadness. And I'm going to ask you to exhale through your mouth, because all that tension's been held in your TMJ joint, radiating around your neck. So energy follows sound too. So releasing it, even sitting back from your microphone, exhaling. I'm going to come over and put my hands on you. But I want you to breathe in and out through your mouth for about 5 conscious connected breaths. As deep as you can, surprise yourself how much you can receive in. That's some good shit, man. Like, just breathe it in through a wide open mouth. Let a layer of pain body go from your heart, from your being. Deep breath through your mouth. There's this habitual holding here. The TMJ joint, like, don't let them see me angry, right? Don't let the lip quiver. Don't let them see me sad. It's like the game face. The game face. Sometimes it's a polite smile. Sometimes it's that tough guy face. It's really a game body. There you go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go all the way down. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're safe to go to the bottom and just let it go. Sometimes there's an emotional pop at the bottom. What would it be like without the game face and the game body? Maybe it'd be that light, feeling connected, like you belonged everywhere. Reframing mental patterns, emotional patterns, and even just presence patterns. Now, what are you noticing?
It's loosening up. I mean, it's loosened up, and I have this compassion for being on the other side of that. Like, well, we were friends, you know. Why did this one little thing allow or cause this complete and total disconnect where I'm like in the doghouse and there's no way out? I'm a permanent resident now.
Well, I wouldn't claim that.
No.
You're actually freeing yourself from the doghouse right here. You don't need anything from her to get out of that emotional doghouse. You don't need her. You've been walled off within yourself about that pain. And I've seen miraculous things happen, like when we unwall your doghouse, she comes back in your life. But either way, you're not missing or stuck with that experience with her, which seems to free her to actually come back. Who knows? Now I want you to sit, okay, deep breath, the deepest breath you can. Visualize pulling in white light. Keep going, keep going. Let it circulate for like a count of 3 or 5. All that, it's going to flush out like physical toxins. I want you to sit back, put your head up and sigh and tone out. Keep going, go, 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 go. Open your mouth, open your mouth, open your mouth. Let it out, let it out. Keep going. Keep go, 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 go. All that energy you've been holding in your back, in your neck, in your... Keep going, go, 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 in your heart, in your gut. Just let it out. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Go, 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 go. That's it, that's it. All that waves of sadness and helplessness. There you go. Feel it. Did you feel that wave of emotion come off your body?
Just lift it off.
Yeah.
Almost like I breathed it out, but my body breathed it out.
Yeah, I felt it come through like a wave of heat. Good. In a typical session, we do 3 to 5 of those layers, and then we go into a guided meditation and visualization to reset. To reset so that you program in the new possibility, as it were, right? Like you program in. And if you're a praying person, we use prayer and meditation. Some people, they have Jesus helps them, or Buddha, one of their guides, or just their innate wisdom in their body. It serves all beliefs.
And mine is Einstein, actually.
Oh, there you go. Many believe he was an awakened one.
Oh, yes, for sure.
All right, tell me what you're feeling. That's just one little layer, but tell me what you're feeling.
I'm feeling deep connectedness.
Where?
my heart. And my chest is lighter, so it's not this intensity. It's like I'm connected to my heart, but it's just so much lighter now. Where there was no like opening, there's now an access or an opening. It seems like there's a, and then you just gotta let it out.
Like it's easier to breathe in life in general.
Yeah. It's easier to be like, I'm okay with it. Like I feel it. I can feel the sadness, but it's not like it's something that's bad. It's uncomfortable. It's more just like, it's okay. I can be there with it. That's wild.
It really took something for a lawyer to change her whole career.
Yeah.
No, seriously, like the investment in freaking law school and, you know, like the golden handcuffs and, you know, like I was a good lawyer. I still love it, you know, like the sparkle of organizing different, analyzing and organizing, compartmentalizing. I use it. Like I use it. It's like, like the computer is tracking all the emotional stuff and the reports of the mental story and the physicality, and I get to use some of the same skills, but
that's really cool.
It was because my first session blew me away.
Oh wow! And when the person that was doing it for you did it, that made a huge difference.
Oh yeah, in the year 2000, I was going through divorce. My mom was dying. I didn't totally know it because it had been lingering for a while, but. And I had this really stressful litigation. I had my solo legal practice and I had some employees, but we were a small shop and we were against one of the big law firms in town, and they were papering us with emergency motions, and it was like up all night. And interestingly, the last straw was when my dog got hurt, my shepherd mix, Buster. He's now in the Buster in the Sky. He's now transitioned, but he it was just like, I was like, I can't do this. And then I got nose cancer. I think it was because my immune system was depleted from all the stress, right? The mind-body connection. I don't know. I didn't know anything. It was my first awakening experience. And somebody said, I was going to Unity Church at the time, and somebody said, hey, there's this practitioner. Go try her out. Just go do a session with her because you have so much sadness and you're just like so anxious all the time. And I had a little boy. He was 4. 3 or 4 at the time, and he I think he was 3, and so I went in and just cried and cried. I had so much self-pity, like I was being the tough lawyer and the good daughter, and
the game face, that's what you keep that's what
right?
you talked
like
about,
just like staying competent, staying on top of it. And I cried. There was self-pity. Weirdly, my nose went numb. And so she said, oh, if you did cocaine, in your youth, like it's just releasing. Like it's the cellular memory of it. And I said, I never did cocaine. I couldn't even talk because my upper lip was numb. It was all numb. She goes, what is it? I couldn't remember because I was in this altered state of consciousness. It was the nose cancer surgery. I did Mohs laser surgery. So they cut it out and then they look in the microscope. And then if there's margin infringement, they go back and they give you another needle's worth of anesthetic. So I had 4 needles of anesthetic and it made it all numb, and my body had retained the memory of that.
Oh wow.
And then somewhere around the session it started almost hurting, like this, like the pins and needles came, which is very painful in this part of your body. It felt like when your arm goes to sleep. I had never, and so I was like, oh my God. She goes, that's life force coming back where it's been the memory of numb. And in the next year my scar went down. I did like 12 more breath sessions. Then I went through the intensive, the 7-month intensive. And then I was never going to do that for a living. I just wanted to, the lawyer hungry for knowledge. I was like, what was that?
Right.
But there was so much released physically. There was stuff that I had, like OBGYN stuff that was released.
Wow.
In the first couple of sessions, because my baby had a big head and like there was some numbness there. It came back. There was so much that physically that happened, but then emotionally I was free and lightened. Like you just had a taste of it, and I was like, what was that? And then in my guided meditation, it was the weirdest thing. I had never experienced any kind of relationship with Jesus. I was raised Catholic.
Right. Me too.
Okay. So I don't know about you, but
I gave it up for Lent.
I used to call myself a recovering Catholic, but my point was I didn't have any kind of deep connection with Jesus. Maybe if I had been raised Baptist, I don't know, right? But it was more about knowing what to do and the postures and my first communion, and it wasn't about Jesus. Anyway, there's this golden light that came to me and filled my heart, and I just knew, or made up, who knows, that it was Jesus. And ever since then, I'm just like, I have this deeply spiritual connection. I've had a lot more experiences,
wow,
but
that's cool.
I don't believe that's the only way, but for me, that was my way. So I was like, what the heck was that? And so I started doing sessions every time she flew to town, 2 or 3. There's a lot of people in California on the East Coast who do this kind of work. There's only a few people locally.
Yeah.
I'm out to have more people get certified.
Absolutely.
Go through my 6-month training. And by the end of 6-month training, you've done 12 sessions on yourself. And the practice of 12 sessions is that you will have released the majority of your pain body.
You definitely get, I mean, even just the few minutes, and we only took a few minutes really right here just now to go through that, but I can tell you right now, like my heart feels lighter. I actually don't feel, that's the weird thing. I don't feel disrespected anymore.
Well, disrespected is a story. It's not.
It's
not a feeling.
Well, here's the interesting thing is that was my trigger for what it was that had me not be in relationship. Like that's the thing, you know, and I feel like I could maybe experience disrespect and not cut someone off.
Use it to grow. That's my advice.
Right.
Like, what you don't like, just what would you say if you were going to cut that person out of your life anyway? This is just practically.
Okay.
So I disrespect you. So in the past, I would have been done. What can you use me to practice within yourself awakening and expanding into? Since you're ready to ditch me anyway, I might actually shift and you might actually, it might actually work for you how I be. You want to use me to practice saying what you want?
Yeah.
Making a request? Maybe you want to use me to practice expressing anger or expressing disappointment or expressing sadness, like all the stuff you don't have any.
Yeah, no language for almost. It's like it was like I didn't have a language to explain what I experienced, so I'm just going to toss you. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's really young,
It's some
right? It's like
version
a
of that.
3-year-old, 4-year-old,
Yeah.
5-year-old in your body that got stuck.
Yeah.
Which is why sometimes inner child work comes up or whatever else. It's not long. It's 5-10 minutes and pop it and then you go on to the next thing. Like sometimes
this is a great thing. So here's what I would say to you. What I would create is, God, I just had an experience of feeling disrespected. The experience of feeling disrespected. And I'm just curious, is that what you were meaning to communicate? Or are you feeling like there's something there for you that would be like, I violated something. It cost me respect. You know, can I be responsible for something like that?
Can we really do this, by the way, so it's not practice?
No, I really want to do this.
You fucking asshole. I'm just being disrespectful.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like, have it really be Michael and Flora.
Well, fuck, man. I feel really disrespected right now. You know, is that what you're meaning to do? Like a, fucking asshole, really? Why am I a fucking asshole?
No, I was actually trying to help you of all things. Like, if I really look, like, why would I ever call somebody a fucking asshole even to help them? Thanks for saying that. So what's left with you about that?
It's just a word. Asshole is one of those man words, if you call him that. I've learned.
It's a man word?
It's a man word that if you call a man an asshole, he reacts.
Really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't anybody react?
I think so, but I think men react even more. So what I would say around it, being called a fucking asshole is not a good thing. It doesn't feel good.
That's where I would get interested, like in Michael and Flora's relationship right here. I'd go, I get it, the feeling disrespected. I go, what's really happening right now? Like another layer of authenticity. Because we cleared the first layer.
Sure.
But if we clear it just to go back to being comfortable and polite with each other, no real intimacy. So we went from like, I'm reactivated. I wasn't, but I could have been reactivated. Usually people are like upset. They're pulling away from you as they scream stuff at you, right?
Yeah.
I don't answer to hey or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So I'm back here. Then you move back and you go, dude, I feel disrespected. Or for a second you come forward to tell me that and then you pull away. So we came to neutral, but we didn't actually use this incident to move forward towards each other. This is the conscious connecting in relationship. We didn't use it to pull towards each other, to lean in towards each other, to risk further. We just cleared this pesky thing so we can go back to drinking and hanging out and keeping things at the surface level, that you're hungry to have a life partner.
Yeah.
And those don't jive together.
Yeah.
So what could you provide here that would be the other, like another layer of authenticity. We cleared the shit, but now what's really happening for you?
Oh, you know, it wouldn't have hurt so much if I didn't actually really love and appreciate you. Now I'm talking about the person that hurt me.
Okay.
Or the
I
disrespect.
can play her, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to be her.
Yeah.
So, I feel, in the disrespect, man, fuck, you're one of my friends. And what was that all about? Why would you say that to me?
All right, so that's good. That's asking a question, getting interested. That could draw us in or whatever.
Uh-huh.
The whole preamble left me wanting to move back from you as her.
Oh. And my shoulders went up again.
Yeah, you're just
being in the victim.
You're just analyzing my behavior instead of speaking from something true within you.
Okay.
Like, say something mean to me, like real, that you consider mean. I mean, I consider it mean. We don't know.
I don't know you well enough, Flora, to say something mean to you.
How can you say that you don't know me well enough? Like, you and Steph talked about me, and now like we've been spending all this time, and I just did a session on you, and you're telling me that you don't know me well enough to. I mean, you can get reactivated by anything, right?
Sure, yeah.
Just say something that would be mean. I think your insert character trait that's a defect. Stingy, selfish, stupid.
Okay.
Ugly.
No, I think you're selfish.
Wow. I actually felt that a little in my heart. Not a lot, but I can feel it here in my heart. Just a slight gripping in my belly.
Wow. So that's what's going on for you. Wow. Okay.
And it really just eased when I breathed into it. Like, I'm feeling it. It wasn't a big one. It was a tiny, right? Like, I dealt with selfish, years, for years now and years ago. But it's like, so I don't have anything about that. I can totally be selfless and giving, and I can be selfish and self-centered, and both of them are valuable ways of being in the world. So I don't have a lot going on about it. And what you just taught me was that I had a little something, and I just breathed into that. So thanks for saying that.
It wasn't true. I don't think you're selfish.
You don't know. I am, actually. I'd like to
don't fight for being selfish now.
You don't know me.
You don't know me.
So what if the goal isn't to take ourselves? Like, what if transformation isn't about taking this being I call Flora, and I thought I was so great, but now I saw my blind spots, and I'm like, oh my God, I have stuff to fix and improve, so that I'm going to go self-help mode. So I'm going to take myself out of this box that I call unconscious little Flora, and I'm going to try to put myself in this box called good Flora. And I'm going to try to be transformed and evolved. And I was selfish, and now I'm going to be kind, and I'm going to be giving, and I'm going to be, a better listener, and, and I'm going to change this box. And maybe this was a smaller box for a bigger box, but it's a fucking box.
Right.
Like, what if it's really about, I can unbox myself, that I can hold always a being and various sensations in the body and different emotional states. Wow. And anywhere I can't be or include that beingness, right? Torture or whatever it is.
Right.
Until I can have my heart expand in that, my universe is small and tiny, and I'm still freaking boxed, and we can judge the shit out of it that it's a better box because, look, she pisses off fewer people. And then she dies.
But it's still a box.
The body's still decaying. And then my life was over, and it was about, I was trying to be an even prettier little girl and an even smarter little girl, but now we're adding in spiritually pure and nice and namaste, right? And all this stuff, which is valid. It wasn't in my box before, but now I want both boxes. I want to be unboxed. That's what I find aliveness and freedom is.
So just
out of
allow
the
it to all be able to integrate, and so that those boxes. Yeah. So you're an unboxer.
Yeah, there's a great book on that, by the way, 2007, Michael A. Singer. It's called The Untethered Soul.
Oh, I love it.
And he talks about, you really like it, he talks about this gripping in the heart, and that we want to be hungry for it, to ungrip the heart, and not to teach people how to not trigger our heart.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what else is in that box?
What?
In my box of I need to be respected or whatever that is. The mechanism for how I deal with people, if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's an automatic response.
Totally.
Wow. Fuck. I want to get rid of my box. Fuck that box, man. And right, it was valuable when I was 8 or 9 or maybe even a little older.
It's still valuable.
Well, the not the value of like noticing that I was disrespected, but the value, maybe it was valuable of keep putting people out of my life that maybe were disrespectful, but now actually being able to be with it, because there are people in my life that may show me disrespect, but guess what? It's not because they disrespect me, but more like because they love me and they think that right there, that behavior right there, maybe that's not my best highest self.
Maybe. I actually personally caution against rationalizing their behavior in a positive spin. Could be you can go, oh, they're my muse, they're my mentor, they're my teacher. They came to teach me and they have my best intentions in mind. Sometimes they want to fuck with you. Like, really, I've said, like, oh, I don't consider myself betrayed. And it's like, oh, no, I meant to get away with something from you. Like, I really wanted to play the hide something from you game. It's like, I'm trying to, dude, work with me. I'm trying to rationalize. Like,
and then you find out that was your own bullshit.
what if the only reason that we want to rationalize their behavior is because we're so freaking scared of feeling our disrespect isn't a feeling, dude. So it was sadness in your heart.
Right.
And fear in your belly.
Yeah.
And then this, right, the fear of protecting your neck and your back. Did they hit you on your neck and back?
Yeah.
So that, like, were you curled on the floor at some point?
I was on the street.
Mm-hmm. And were you curled?
I was.
So your neck and your back are what took the majority of it after a while. So and then it got locked in, right?
Yeah.
So
it did this. Like my chest closed in, my back. I'm holding myself.
So I guess what I wanted to say is that I don't think we need to rationalize it away. If we just get interested in feeling it, in seeing it, being awake to it, like
call me an asshole again. Let's do this. I'm in.
You want me to give it to you like with feeling?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Do it. Ready? Go ahead.
You're a fucking asshole, man. Look at you, you fucking asshole. How fucking stupid and just like, you know, like, like you fucking disgust me.
Wow.
Just feel.
I feel it in my heart.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's progress.
Yeah.
Breathe.
It's deep in my heart.
Yes, breathe. That's so beautiful. Now I'm shifting gears. You're safe. You're safe to feel it. No one's words can get stuck when you're committed to transcending through the pain. Not
it feels
avoiding
black.
it.
It feels like it feels dark. It feels pain. It's sadness. It's definitely sadness. Anger. There's anger. Betrayal. How could you talk to me like that?
How about loneliness?
Oh, yeah. Loneliness for sure. And then there's pain in my middle back, just like sharp. Tightness.
Breathe into it. You ever do yoga?
Yes.
Lion's breath?
No.
You stick your tongue out. It actually relaxes all the habitual holding, like of not letting your lip quiver so that they don't see your sadness. Keep going, 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 keep going. See, we can have humor and it'll still release. You can even wiggle a little, like movement, like just wiggle those places. Like movement will shake it off. You can contract your muscles. Sometimes I'll have people stretch in a session or twist. Like you want some movement where it's been stuck. Like the best chiropractic adjustment sometimes. So there's this whole other level of authenticity in relationship that will bring me or whoever it is closer. And there is, especially in the transformation community, like giving up, talking about what we did or should have done. Like all that matters is you, like your tender little heart, your experience in this moment. It's like, okay, my words hurt you and I'm so sorry for that. And I'm so glad that we see this pain you've been carrying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that was a button you were carrying before my words came across this table.
It's not there anymore. Like the pain, it's just the darkness it doesn't hurt.
So it's going to get easier and easier for you now that you've seen this. Like this is your actual first experience of a somatic release, I think. You haven't done somatic release?
Ever. No.
So now, because like when you did Landmark and you got like mental, and by the way, people can release from their body. You see them at the microphone at Landmark too, right? Like it's like a pop and they look 10 years younger,
disappears.
right? Yeah,
It's so magical.
And then sometimes we can get smart rat with that. And
You're
so
right.
like hitting it like with the body, then the body lets go and all of a sudden the mind's clear. It's like, whoa, or you can hit it with the emotional field. Like there's no right way. It's just about freedom. But now that you've had that, you continue getting curious and exploring it into it. And I've given you a few tools. And you can always call me.
Okay.
But you're going to be lighter and lighter, so it'll be less and less gripped.
Yeah.
Even, we could also hit it like giving up the story of disrespect. It's just they said something that triggered an old button. Like you were walking around with that button.
I'm just waiting for you to push it.
That's right. And then you get rid of me and new
Don't you
button
push it.
pusher.
Don't
Yeah,
you
exactly. And then we're going to
don't
call
you-
that love.
My box.
Yeah. Look, you be really careful. Here's my buttons. You try not to push my buttons. If you push one by accident or worse with intention to push my button because you're hurt,
motherfucker,
you better be really apologetic.
No shit.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to try really hard to not push your buttons, okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to go through life trying to die with our pain intact. And then we're going to call that love.
Oh my God.
That's what unconscious, polite relationships are.
Wow.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It really is.
Oh, and I'm going to tell all my girlfriends about what you said that pushed my button.
Yeah, that relationship is with all my former girlfriends, my mom even. Like I do my best not to, say or do things that push her buttons.
Mm-hmm. Which might be okay and kind if her goal is to die without looking like, I don't know, right? Like too much self-awareness.
How not authentic I am. Or how little I am authentic when I'm constantly trying to toe the line and make sure that you don't hurt me and I don't hurt you. And if I can maintain that peace without being authentic, I'm still hurtable.
Well, and our relationship isn't intimate. We might hang out together a lot.
That's so my life right now.
So if we don't have having been through this, I'd like to think that if there was something you'd go like, I feel Flora. We've gone like deeper together.
Yeah.
Like I could call her and I could just say, dude, like, don't leave me hanging out here or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But without that foundation of realness, anything that happens can blow that relationship off because it was never deep to begin with.
Right.
That you spent time together, that you laughed together, that you appreciated each other and acknowledged. That's not the depth. I think you don't really know somebody until you come through some triggers together. Then you see how they're committed. Like really, they're committed to sticking it out or not, or like.
Oh man, I'm gonna have such a great conversation, and then I'm gonna do some of this work also with this other person that I've had some situation with. So.
All right, let me give you one last piece for you because you're going to go out and you're going to try to use this, right? It's like we've just done a couple
I'm gonna
little...
call you. I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you and say, hey, okay, coach me through this because this one's tough. This one's really tough.
You totally can. But here's what I want. Like just one last tool, right? Like can we take a deep breath and kind of reset?
Yeah.
So this is like a basic tantra energetic piece. People think tantra is all about insertion or sexuality, and it's a sexual energy, but this is like it starts with. How much of you are you sharing here with me right now?
30%.
Damn, that was fast.
I keep tabs of shit like that.
So nothing that we say with you at 30% is really going to impact you or bring us into intimacy. Okay, now it just shifted. So how much of you are you, I can feel you more. How much of you are you sharing with me?
Upper 70%,
That's
75%.
exactly the number I got.
75%.
Would you be willing to share all of yourself with me here, like right now? Just increase it.
Oh, there's some fear. Uh-oh.
I'm even across. You've got me in my little, I'm like
You're safe.
controlled. Right, I'm stuck to this microphone with this on and a little
headphones. You're
camera,
not going
right?
anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm
you're
across
stuck.
2 desks from you.
Right. Okay. I can go 100%.
You can, for
Yeah,
sure. You
for
can go
sure.
110%. So if you shoot for 110, you might actually
Hit 100. I might actually hit 110.
What's your experience of me? Like, how much of me am I sharing with you?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So everywhere you let them do the heavy hitting, like energetically, you're not going to have safety in your relationships.
Oh, man.
For you, because you need them to provide something that you're not. You've been scared, baby, like scared and alone and trying to control and manipulate. It's all because you were hurt and it wasn't wrong.
Some of
Hi.
that fear. Hi.
Your face actually changed.
Wow.
Look how beautiful you are.
Oh.
So really here.
Let me take a look.
See, I say that, and then people want to look at a mirror. Like after a session, I say to somebody, "Oh my God, you look 10 years younger," and then they all of a sudden they want to fix their makeup. So I didn't mean that way. I meant your essence.
Yeah.
Like your face changed, and you were really beautiful. You can take a look, but when you look in a mirror, would you be willing to look like how you just looked with me, like 100% of yourself there?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Not
yes.
looking for flaws to fix or clip or trim or shave.
Yeah.
Like really, just being like.
Being with
yourself 110%. Then all you see is the light in your eyes. And it just looks like there you go, gorgeous radiance. Your face just kind of like it sometimes like the edges kind of fades out for me when we're really just here together.
Wow.
So
it's like one of the deepest connections I've ever had with someone. Not non-sexual.
Well, you could have your penis in me and not be this connected.
That's true.
In fact, my guess is you mostly have sex not disconnected if you're saying that you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. I have used sex in the past for connection, and have had an expanse in that. And at the same time, there have been times where it really was no connection.
Sex can be used the same way as details about their life. Like if I hear enough details about you, I feel like I know you. If we had sex, I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
You might know some habits, you might know some turn-ons. Maybe there's a little bit of a wall going down and some reveal, but you're at the switch here. Like now you know what, I just felt 100, I felt like back.
Right.
This is intimacy, like this is connection, and then you'll never feel scared when you're giving all of yourself.
Because I have been. My threshold was 30%. And then I'd start to feel uncomfortable. And I know this. Like I know this.
Who else would set up a podcast to interview people to try to really figure out what makes people tick in life?
Somebody who's really hungry for it.
Yeah, who else would teach conscious connecting and become a relationship coach, but one who's had like really rocky times in a relationship?
Yeah, definitely you.
Like we give what we most want and lust for.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
Nice to meet you, Flora.
See, you couldn't even receive my giving until you showed up.
That's true.
Like how many people have poured their hearts out, their souls, literally pouring their souls out. It's not sad because I'm alive as long as I'm out. Like I'm here, like really here, being touched by your essence in this moment. But when you show up too, whoo, now we're rocking and rolling like a party.
Yeah. I get to bring something to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, that's awesome. Like you shifted instantly.
Wow.
Thank
I
you.
actually have no pain in my back. None. I mean, that immobility that I used to feel all the time right up through the back to my neck is gone. Like, I feel tingling in my muscles.
And I see light shining in your eyes. I'm telling you because I want you to feel like inside your face what that feels like. And it comes from the heart and belly. You can't fake it. Like, I'll just put a special makeup that makes me glow like bronzer. Like the light from inside where you look like that halo effect, like that light. I just wanted you to feel it for a moment. Like when I point it out, then you go into figuring out a little and then you come back.
I'm the analyst. I swear. Yeah.
Me too.
No doubt.
We're head liver recoverers. Head liver recoverers,
yeah,
you know,
for
like
sure,
to come down in our body, come down in our heart, come into our emotional experience, because that's where the aliveness is, like the roller coaster of life.
Yeah. Oh my God, I want you to talk to my son. He's just like me.
How old is he?
He's 20.
Wow.
He's just like me though. He gets in his head. I do the same thing and we analyze to death. But
we could do a conscious connecting session. I've done mother-daughter, I've done sisters, I've done father-son.
I would love to set that up.
That'd be awesome.
Yes, absolutely. We could even podcast that. That'd be great. No, because I think people need this. I mean, I'm like one of those legit people that when I find something that's just so really does work, I start talking about it and I tell everybody, I mean, really, this made a difference. And I feel like, no, I'm enlivened. I'm not feeling like it. I'm enlivened right now. I have a lit up, and not only that, I could be with, I'm an asshole. Guess what? I'm an asshole. Sometimes it's no act. I have been an asshole to people like on purpose, trying to assert myself or whatever other stuff goes on. But you know what? The truth is I have been, and I'm kind of okay with it. It's appropriate at times, and other times, not. But I can be with it. I can be with being called one. My daughter called me an asshole. Oh my God. We had a conversation around that.
How old is she?
She's 17. She's in college right now up in Flagstaff, NAU. I'm so proud of that young lady.
I mean, she has backbone.
Yeah.
Apparently. Like, you just had to say that one thing, like to call your dad out when you're 17.
She told me one time, she goes, you were a dick to me growing up when I was a little girl. And I was like, I was. That hurt. I was actually knocked me out of my game for a solid day.
Well, were you?
Yeah.
Sometimes?
I was.
And they never remember all the times where you're there wiping their butts and fixing their food and fixing their skin knees. Like, they remember the times that you were
peanut butter off of everything. My daughter used to get into the peanut butter, hand in peanut butter, all over her and all over everything and within reach.
Yeah.
Like the walls and stuff.
We're not going to get the Good Parent Award for those times. Like, it's all the times they remember where we effed up,
that memory is one of those memories that I treasure. It was a bitch cleaning all that stuff up, but I got a picture of her.
It's a good story too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me today and really for dropping in here. Like, I feel your heart, and I'll never be the same because of this interaction.
Yeah.
I go out there not like to pontificate a message, but like this connection, like it matters.
Yeah, it does. It's incredible. Fun. This is really great. Way different than I thought it was going to be, Flora. Really.
Me too. I didn't know we were going to do this shit. I was like, we're going to talk about conscious connecting.
Well, let's wrap it up. Let's get everybody back to, first of all, I'm going to devour these videos. No kidding.
The one that looks like it could be really relevant for you is Stay or Go in Relationships. It's the first one on our page, because you say that somebody disappoints you and you're dealing with, should I keep them or not keep them? There's some valuable, given what you're now creating, that you're wanting that deeper level of authenticity about what's really happening within you. I would say watch that for yourself. Like,
and here's the interesting thing. I now have access. I think it's, oh man, remember when I said before, I feel like I didn't have access, or there was no opening for me to be authentic with people. Do you remember in the very beginning?
Before we even started,
yes,
I think.
Before we started.
Yeah, totally.
And it was because I felt like there's something wrong with me. Right? There's this thing that there's something wrong with me. And once they find out about that, then,
I do remember you saying that, yeah.
And it's because I felt like I didn't have access to what I was feeling and give language to it. So I didn't know how to say it. But now I do. I have this, I can breathe into it and I can say what's there.
You can be like, it's black sludgy, it's sadness, like whatever. Yeah. Like, just describe your experience.
It's not disrespect. Like, I didn't feel disrespect. I felt hurt. I felt sadness. I felt a twinge of pain. I felt my back lock up. I felt myself go in and close down. And that's all lost its power just in the saying of it and the breathing into it. So the breathing piece was really, really important.
You could say you just transcended that experience. That's what we talked about at the beginning, right?
That's
not changing it, but just transcending it.
Holy shit, you just totally did it.
Like, transcending healing. Yeah?
That's so cool.
Totally. So yeah, you might want Stay or Go in Relationships for you, given your particular thing that you want to change your mind about.
Absolutely. I'll watch it when we finish up here. And then this is your book.
That is.
Succeeding through doubt, fear, and crisis. And again, radio show is the coupon code, and you put that
all
down
lowercase, all one word, just radio show, so they get the discount, just $15, like
delivered to your door.
Everything. That's right.
It's a physical book. It's not a PDF.
No.
It's actually going to arrive at your door.
That's right.
And then finally, breathelifenow.com is your website, and simplicity and communication. Everything that we just did today was transformative. every little, and I almost didn't get it. Like there was a moment where I wasn't really sure where you were going with it, but then when you became the test subject kind of, and you explained it, I was like, oh yeah, I got it. Okay, that's what, because I kept trying to figure out and analyze where I was going with it, but really I just got connected to it.
That's why role play can be very valuable. But I don't need to do that with everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? And maybe another session with you, I wouldn't. So they're all different. They're always different. It's just rocking and rolling. What's going to take to free up aliveness in the body, in the experience? It just, you know? Yeah,
we're all connected, and not just all connected, but I mean individually connected. So my mind and my spirit and my body are all connected, and I treat them like they're not. And that's the main piece. And the breathing is a big part of it. And if you don't meditate, I want to encourage you to meditate. Man, 30 minutes, you can find all kinds of stuff online around meditation and how to do it. Guided meditation is probably one of the best places to start.
Well, that's what I do. Like I do some beginner, because there's people in their head, especially a lot of lawyers.
Yeah.
I'm like, come in for session, guided meditation, to teach you what to do with the mind, because just sitting there trying not to think can be so disempowering and so frustrating.
Yeah.
For the beginner meditator, they're just sitting there trying not to think, thinking about not think. It's horrible. Right? But there's easier.
The monkey mind.
Yes,
takes
exactly.
Takes off.
Exactly.
Just and it has its own world, and it's the craziest thing. So, but yeah, so get on over to breathelifenow.com. and check out Flora's website. Check out everything she does. Your husband is also involved in this, and
yeah, we bring him in from time to time when I need the male perspective, or when there's addiction or other issues that are relevant that he can really,
fantastic. What a great partnership. That's so great. And then if you have any questions, you can find all of her contact information, her phone numbers on there, email address. Check out the videos. Get the book. I'm going to get the book, so I'll go online today and I'll get the book. And really, and I want to have a second session with my son and I, so we'll set that up, and we might be able to podcast that. But thank you so much for coming in today. What a great session this was. I'm not kidding. I'm floored. I'm like beside myself, like going, holy shit, that was quick. I actually feel love from my friend now, instead of she's dangerous. Like, don't talk to me.
And there's love here in the room. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to wait to talk to your friend. If she never talked to you again, you have love for your friend. She has no say over you flowing love about her and through and at her.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have that power over you.
That's cool.
I love seeing and experiencing you lit up. Love it. Love feeling your heart light. Like, really.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for guiding me. This was great. All right. Well, till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Decoding visionaries and subcultures. The Edge Podcast with Mike G is brought to you by the following sponsors. Thank you for your support.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. 'Cause I'm the type of nigga that's built to last.